Hello everyone. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to connect to a Rockwell Automation PLC inside the SORBA.ai IoT Unified Edge. I am looking at the user interface of the SORBA IoT Unified SDE, and within my workspace is where I configure my assets, my tags, my channels. So what I'm going to demonstrate today is we're going to create a Rockwell Automation PLC channel with inside our asset A1. So I'm going to click on the channel. I'm going to add a channel. I'm going to give it a name. We'll call it CLX or Control Logics. CLX1, make it unique. And in the scroll down, you can then add, of course, description. You can add an alias to the name, timeout if you're having issues and connection issues. The follow, class and changes, and enable buttons are defaulted checked. In the driver configuration, we're going to select the CIP Ethernet IP driver. That is the Rockwell Automation driver you select for any Rockwell PLCs and devices. And in the CPU model, you want to select the type of PLC you're connecting to. You can see here the different list. And today we're going to connect to a Compact Logix. And within the Compact Logix is required to provide the format of the communication path, which is listed below the field. I already believe have one here. It's 912, and I think I've already cached one in. So it's my IP address is 192.168.10.40, comma 1 is the what they call the CPU address, and then 0 is the slot number. So for Compact Logix, this particular model is always 1 and 0. I'm going to save that, and we're going to apply changes. And while we do that, I'm going to then go into my Rockwell PLC. So inside the RS Logix software, you can see that I'm online with the PLC. And what I have here is I have 4 sensors or 5 sensors and an RPM speed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create 5 tags with inside the SORBA IoT Unified Edge and attach it to this PLC so we can read data, and then we can just create a simple dashboard to display the data. So let's go back to the IoT Unified Edge, and inside my asset, underneath the group, I'm going to create several tags. So I'm going to create first a group. We'll call it IO, something simple. And inside that IO, then I can go ahead and create a tag. And I'm just going to call it T1, tag 1. You can, again, specify all the contextualization of that tag. You can then describe the actual data type, which will leave it as real, default value, no pre-processing, high and low limits, all of that stuff. What's important that you must define, and it is defaulted, is the type of trigger. So in the default is cyclic, and we're going to acquire that every 10 seconds is fine, and in units of seconds, not minutes or hours. In the channel configuration, the default is memory, so that means it'll create an internal tag, but we want to attach it to the channel called CLX1. So in that list, you should see the newly attached or added channel, CLX1, and inside the actual PLC address, we then want to go back to the Rockwell RS Logix software and copy that address in the data table. Oops, and we can't do that underneath there. Okay. And I'm going to minimize that, and we'll copy that right inside the PLC tag address. And then you want to match the actual data type of the PLC. So in this particular driver, you specify the data type, which is a real. That's how it's programmed in the PLC. And if you have scaling, you can do your scaling here. We're not going to use scaling for now, but you can apply scaling. We're going to click saving, and then we can easily test, or we can maybe just copy and clone these tags to give us another 4 tags. We can just populate down very, very quickly. Okay, so now we've cloned 4 more tags. I'm going to just go in. We can change the date or the name, but I'm just going to leave it as is for the sake of expediency, and we're going to just change the address. So that was array 0. This will be array 1. Array element 1. This will be array element 2, I believe. 1, 2, yep. 2. And the 4th tag in that particular series is, or in that particular array, is element 3. And save. And I believe the last tag is a different name. It's called vibe underscore RPM. And we'll just name that vibe underscore RPM. I could have copied it, of course. Vibe underscore RPM. Excellent. Save. Apply changes. Just give it a minute. So the difference between saving and apply changes, if you have not already discovered that, it is the save button just saves the configuration. The apply is very similar when you're actually programming a PLC, where you're making offline changes and you're downloading. So apply in relation to the IoT Unified Edge is similar to downloading into the runtime engine. So there's quite a lot of configuration on this one here. It'll just take another few more seconds. There it goes. And now we can go into our data viewer. The data viewer is a way to very easily and quickly view the real-time data, view the information in those tags that we created. We called it A1. IO is a tag group, and we'll just apply, click, and you can see that we're reading data from the PLC. It should update every 30 seconds here, or 3 seconds. I believe we can lower that. Okay, excellent. So that should change. If it doesn't change much, there it goes. Okay, so we are reading data every 1 second, and it's changing. And now the SDE is recording this data because we did have the data logging checked. So at this point, you can also add a dashboard. We'll create a simple dashboard. Let me log in. I think I'm already logged in. Okay, I'm going to create a dashboard, add a panel to my IoT Unified Edge, and the default is a trending series. So what we're going to do now is select the asset called, the asset called SDE1, which is the device name. A1 is the asset name, and then it'll expose all of the different tags, and you can either group them or just remove the grouping, and there you go. And I can duplicate that and go to tag 2 and duplicate that one to tag 3. 01, yep, and I duplicate that one to the 4th tag. 1, 2, 3, 4, yep. And then the last one, which is our RPM, which should be a much larger number, which it is. You can see that. Almost off the charts there. And you can apply those changes. I've got it set up for the last 6 hours. We'll just do the last 5 minutes. And we'll make it update in real time every 5 seconds. So if I remove the last one, you can see this is the RPM, I believe, which is right, correct. These are your other 4. These are accelerometers, and you can see that I'm reading data from all the different accelerometers. Every 10 seconds is how we acquired the data. That's it for this series, a very short description of how we connect to a Rockwell PLC and then add tags and display the data. Thank you so much.